Hey guys, welcome to another day on the shop. Today's a beautiful day. It's about 70-ish. I love the changing of the seasons when it's not 100% humidity and 100 degrees outside. So we're picking up where we just left off. We got the engine in here. The motor mounts are on and tightened up. Now we have to get the transmission on, the headers on, the exhaust on, the radiator put back in, the power steering put back on, the carburetor put back on, all the plug wires put back in, the wiring done, fuel done, and the exhaust hooked back up one more time. Fingers crossed I can put everything back in here and it doesn't leak. So that's what we're going to get to today, and yeah, I'm not going to make y'all go through the agonizing part of watching me do all this again. So we're going to do the old snap trick, and it's going to be done. So, ready? All right, it's done. Yeah, I'm filling it with fluids. Transmission needs to be checked. Engine oil is good. Water, some odd reason, still leaking out over here. Don't know why. What fitting is that? Okay, found it. Let's get a wrench on it. Screwdriver. Hold on. Alright, fix that leak. So far I have not started the car yet. Turned it over a few times just to get the flywheel, pressure plate, flex plate attached. So right now it's just dirty up under there. Got everything else on, sealed, and tight. So I need to crank this and let it run for a little bit. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's get in here and crank this thing again. Battery power, and here we go. Oh, yeah, the distributor moved whenever I was putting it back in, so I'll have to move that a few times. Get it straight this time. So let's do that. Alright, 15th time is the try. So we got it running. Loud, I think always. Let's see. I need to sweep under there and see what the deal is. So. Okay, so we're going to let this warm up a little bit. Right now, we got almost 50 psi, 55 psi of oil pressure. We have no temp yet because it hasn't gotten warm enough. For some odd reason, we don't have any volts. Huh. I wonder why that is. Let's look at that. So, figure that out. Let it warm up. Alright, I've been running this thing for about 10 minutes now. No leaks. No leaks. And don't worry about that. We already fixed that. But this thing sounds sweet. Smells disgusting though. Old exhaust pipe that needs to be redone, but can't wait to get back in it. So let it run for just a little bit longer, and then I've got some decisions to make. All right, well, so it's a new day. Still getting this prep for registration time. I got a few more things I got to do before I get to registration, and that's including making sure the coolant is where I want it, which I'm going to be using Water Wetter, if you've ever seen that. This is a different brand. It's not the same as Water Wetter, but I'll put a link in the description below for it. This is what's called Hypercool, super coolant. So let's put this Hypercool in. We're going to see how this goes with riding around and sitting temps for traffic and warm days. So hopefully, oops, dropping stuff. Hopefully this works pretty well. So poke a hole in this, dump this in here, and then we'll top it off with some more water. So I had to pull some water out of here to make sure that this stuff would fit in here. There's a certain amount you can pour in. I don't really know. Yeah. Anyway, this will be in the link in the description below. As well as some other cool things that I've been using lately. Not sure if y'all have ever seen a rivet, not a rivet gun, a what's it called? Rivnut gun. So this is a Rivnut gun. One of my bolt holes right here was not, it was empty. It was cross-threaded so bad that the bolt wouldn't hold anything. So I pulled the bolt out, drilled a hole, put one of these Rivnuts in. And what it does is, it is a threaded rivet, and it will take a bolt and you drill a hole, you pop the Rivnut in, it squeezes it to the metal, and then you have a ability to screw in a bolt or something so it doesn't just pop out. So that's what I did there. I just got my radiator support rubbers in, so I'll be putting them in. And I ordered some new headlights because one of my headlights isn't working, so we knocked that out. As well as I got it's over here. I got a new radiator cap because I need one, and then on top of that I've got a new dimmer switch because my brights are staying on and I need a dimmer switch hooked up because mine's bad. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to find out why the electrical to the volt gauge is not working. After that, we're going to get into remounting some tires. We're going to pull these tires off, put those other tires that I have on, and yeah, then hopefully by then we'll have a hood on, and we'll take this thing for a little cruise just to see how it runs and drives with everything done to it. So let's get done with this coolant system and get these supports in, because I got to back these back out, and I'll show you the Rivnut once I pull that off, and then slap it all back together. So let's get to it. Alright, so pop the radiator cover off right here. We'll move it. Got my two radiator hose pieces right here. You can chunk them, but it did come handy when you don't have isolators that will work. So these are Amazon special black rubber isolators. I was going to go with the polyurethane, but it was red and I couldn't find black, but I wanted black, so I got rubber. Won't last as long, but it's okay. The way it works is it just pushes through right here. The little plunger holds onto it, and you just got to pull it through. So that's what I got to do on the top and bottom for the radiator. Showing y'all the Rivnut. Well, all right, here we go. Here's a perfect example. Sheet metal goes in, and if you can see the flattened section, the brass looking flattened section, that's the rivet part. The nut part is the fact of it's an insert of threads. I got it on both sides here so that it can hold a nut or a bolt, and got it right there too. So anytime you have a hole or need to place something somewhere, a Rivnut gun or installer, yeah, it works out great. I used it on the GMC for the radiator in it, and it replaced a broken spot where the nut had popped off from too much torque. So let's throw these in and throw this back together, and then we're done with the radiator for right now. I got one more little project I want to do just in case we start overheating or need more coolant. So we'll look at that in a minute. So let me pop this back in real quick. All right, so rubbers are in, bolts are back, Done. Done. Now, a new toy. Ordered a little while ago. I don't know if it's going to fit anywhere. It's an overflow. So, it's kind of a big one. I made sure I had a big enough one. That's what she said. Oh, let's see. I don't know if this is going to fit in here or not because I need it. I might have to fabricate a bracket one day because I don't see it being today. And it needs to sit right around here or something as of the sorts. So, I don't know. It doesn't quite fit where I wanted it to fit. So, I really don't know if this is going to work out for this trip. And I want it to, but I don't, like, anywhere I would stick it would be in the way somewhere somehow. So I just don't know. I really don't. Bought it hoping I could use it though, and I wanted it to go right around this area. Like I said, I mean, if I built a bracket straight up and just held it right there, it might have enough clearance like that. I know that means I'd be able to get the radiator out and everything else, but I don't know. I had to fab up a bracket, possibly weld it in because I don't want to bolt it. I want it sturdy. I just don't see a place. I just don't. So this is going to go on hold until I figure something else out with it. I mean, I could even put it right there, but this needs to be on that side versus this side, and then I could slip it down in there. Well, no, because that crossbar is in the way. And then I'd slip it down kind of like that, and then still hit the hood. So I don't know. This overflow is going to be out of the question unless I put it back here for right now, and that's a long way away from the radiator. But I don't know. Like I said, I want to weld it, but I don't know if I'd Rivnut it in, but I'd do it to the body panels back here somewhere like that before I weld something up here and off the frame and come up. So I don't know. That's a question I have to ask myself how I want to do this, and I don't have time to sit here and play with this. So right now I need to hop on tires instead of finagling a place for this right this second, even though I really want an overflow because I don't have one. So if I get a chance and I think about it, I might be able to fit it somewhere in here, but that means I'd have to build a bracket and it'd probably bolt up to that, and I don't really care for that, but it'd give me an overflow for the time being, and I just don't like it standing straight up like that in the middle of everything. I don't like it like that either. I almost don't like it right there. So, oh well, on to the next thing. And this gets put back in the box and held for a later time because I got other things for this project that are probably going to get held until later anyway, just like this. So, all right. Next. All right, well, the reason why we are changing these tires out to some used Michelins, which these have a lot more tread on them than these Road Max, you can see this. There's a little bit of a bubble right here, and it's going to burst. So this isn't even all the way up to road PSI. It's not 35, it's not 40. It's lower than that. It's almost, I don't know, probably about 25 or 30-ish. But yeah, so we've got some major issues with that, and that would not be fun driving on until it blows out. So we're swapping to these Michelins. They're a little bit bigger. These are 205s. The old ones are 205s, these are 235s. So we'll have a little bit more surface area on the front. Better for steering, better for stopping. I don't really care, I just want to drive. This is not important to me right now. Once it gets on the road and I start playing with stuff, then this is important. But let's get this other one swapped out. All right, so tires on. Come over here. Tires on. Tires are on. All right, well now we need to adjust the rear suspension because we're dragging a little bit. Yeah, I know the gap isn't that great. I like it like that, but it doesn't drive well because it has no shocks right now. So, I don't know what my dog's barking at. Nothing. So, what I have is something called air shocks. So, I mean, it's not really old or new technology, it's older technology, but it'll raise the back and it'll give me some shocks on top of the fact of I do have leaf springs. So, what we do is we take air nozzle like this, we come in here, there's a little air nozzle right there. It says a minimum of 25 psi, maximum of 200. So it depends on how firm I want my ride, but it's going to raise this wheel gap. So we're going to make this thing monster truck style in just a second. Alright, so that's 60 psi. I can always let it out. Can't really put it back in unless I have an air pump or something. So, it's nifty. I like it. It works. So, there we go. Got me some wheel gap, which is not a good thing, but it's done. Later videos, I have some weather stripping to do, some hole repair, which you can't even see from that back side. Some hole repair over here, hole repair over here, hole repair over here, and then I need to figure out whether I want a new trunk lid or whether just to patch all this and repair it, get rid of the rust and all that. I do have a small hole right here right above the gas tank, and I'm just probably going to Bondo over it and then clean this stuff up and make sure it doesn't rust anymore, because this is the only rust I really have that's eaten through the underside of the body. So yeah, I need to stop playing with stuff, poking more holes in my trunk. Here's my friendly rat. This guy was found in the back of the car whenever I first got it and cleaned it out. So he's my mascot. But yeah, we had to clean these up and throw some stuff over it. Make sure I'm not having holes all in the bed of my trunk, because I gotta put some stuff back here. Tools, chairs, other things like that. So yeah, I guess I'm doing pretty good right now. I need to run this thing down the street and whatnot. I might do that later. But one of the next things I have is well, just getting put away for right now. I don't need this. Y'all see that later. It's a question I have that Mike can change a few things. Oh, I do have something I want to ask and see whether or not you think this would look better. So I got a free gift card from someone, and with that I ordered a steering wheel. So it smells good. It smells like the air freshener. Let's go in here. Oh. All right, so we have the old Grant. You can see it sideways. Oh, because this is a tall thing. The old Grant steering wheel. So I cleaned it up a little bit. It still is nasty and old. But the grip is perfect on it. This is the air that the car is. Oh, let's find our seat. But question I have is, do I keep this steering wheel or do I put this steering wheel in? See, right now I could just hold on to the steering wheel and use it once the car gets prettier, and I might, because I do like this air, but at the same time I don't think this would look too bad in here, especially the places I'm going. But I don't know, because it's, like I said, this matches. So in the comments, let me know which one you think I should put in here, because I like them both. So, torn. Alright, next. Alright, so we got the hood on. Missed the hood being on. The gaps are a little bit off, but I'm not too worried about it. It's an 80, the gaps weren't good back then anyway. But yep. It could be tweaked probably and stepped on or whatever else to make it work better. Back here, I threw some Duraglass on some of these parts that had holes in them, and man, they came out good. They're still a little bit tacky, but I fixed some holes. The other ones still have holes, need to be welded in, so that'll at least keep some of the rain out. If it does sprinkle in, it'll still go back here, but it won't just drip in there. And that was my main factor of that. I do still have some holes up here, which I will sand down eventually and put some Duraglass on. Duraglass is nice. It's extremely tough and works out great. So if you've never used Duraglass, you should try it. It's fiberglass weaves in basically Bondo, and it works really, really well to make some really nice and hard and tough surfaces. Looks like I'm missing a screw. Oh, I am. Look at that. Oopsie. Oh well. I don't know where that came from. Missing. I need to vacuum this out, and then I'm thinking about spraying some undercoating back here and letting it dry out for a day or so. Just to kind of keep the rust to a minimum a little bit more. But yeah, so now the only thing left to do is electronics. I need to take a look at that volt gauge. I got a CD player that's going in. I wish it was Bluetooth, but it's not, because I'm going to redo everything later. I just want something to ride around with in my monster truck. Look at how big that gap is. Jeez. This gap. It's horrible. Oh well. But I cleaned up my mess over here and got everything situated, swept, did a lot of other things, put away my tools. So, yeah. Now all that's left is headlights, the gauge for the volts, and door panels. Door panels come in tomorrow. So once the door panels come in, I have to get them ready to go by cutting out where the handle goes over there and where the window dealio goes, and then the speakers too. So I got to do all that. Then once I get that done, drive, registration, and call it a day, and get it to where I want to get it, and see how this thing actually goes down the road and hopefully stays together. Thank you for joining in to another day of the shop. Check out some Teespring stuff. It should be linked down below, as well as Patreon. We have a TikTok now, so check that out. There's going to be some shorts on there from me and Michael. So, and check out Michael's videos. He's been playing around with this Miata a lot. He just got back from Slush event. I can't remember the racetrack it's at, but yeah, he had a lot of fun. He was hot lapping his Miata and seeing what times he could make and everything else. Got to watch some burnout contests and some drifting, see some cool cars, and see some other people that we watch on YouTube as well. So, but yeah, until next time.